In Chamishi and into Shishi, Yaakov continues giving the brachos to his children. And at the conclusion of those brachos, the Torah tells us that these were the brachos by Baruch Osam, Ish Asher Kevircha, so Berach Osam. The Pasuk tells us that Yaakov blessed these sons, the children, each one according to his blessing, Berach Osam, did he bless them. And Rashi picks up on this apparent extra phrase, the very last two words, Berach Osam, just say that he blessed them, Isha Sher Kevircha. So why the additional words of Berach Osam? Explains Rashi to teach us that all of the brachos, after Yaakov specified specific brachos to specific sons, he gave a generic bracha that he included all of the brachos, all of the sons, and all of the brachos which were administered. And the Ksav Sofer explains, why was this necessary? Because when giving a bracha, there are two types of brachos which can be given. The first is where the one giving the bracha, the tzaddik who is giving the bracha, recognizes the inner strength, recognizes the particular talents of that individual, the subject of the bracha, the recipient of the bracha. And his bracha is to draw out that which is already been proven, which has already been shown through that person's actions, and giving a bracha that becomes something which he focuses on and which he's able to fulfill his potential. And the second element, the second aspect of a bracha is when there is a tzaddik who's giving a bracha, that in that tzaddik's zchus, the recipient should receive something even if they didn't yet have a netiyah, have something inherently leaning towards that bracha. And explains the Ksav Sofer, that's what's going on here. First, what Yaakov did was Yaakov went son by son, identifying the strength of that child, of that son, and giving the bracha that son should be able to draw out in the most successful possible way, to the greatest extent possible, those talents, to be able to use them well. Whereas the general Berach Osam is then a more generic bracha to all of the brothers. That is to say that even if you don't yet have that netiyah, that natural inkling, that natural ability to do something, I'm going to give you this bracha and ask Hashem that in my zechus, in the zechus of this bracha, you are able to foster that and to develop that. And so there's the more specific bracha of something which a person has already shown their tendencies towards, that the bracha is to exacerbate that and to draw it out to meet its potential. And then there's the bracha which is in the zechus of the one giving the bracha. That explains the Ksav Sofer, is this two elements, which I think is a crucial lesson, something very important as well for us that we can take. That yes, there are times we get brachos that are generic brachos, that are in the zechus of the tzaddik or the bracha, the tefillah being recited. But then when it comes to our own selves or our own children, to identify those areas that we already have those talents, those strengths that we already have, to be able to do our part, to pull our strengths out and to pull out the strengths of our children to meet their greatest potential.